I want you to share your experience on your injury, your rehab, your recovery, and your take on Derrick Rose's future.
Well, you know, a couple of years ago, there was an article that came out when D. Wade was going to be a free agent. And he had made a statement about, I don't know if Chicago takes care of its players. Well, look, for somebody that made an idiotic and dumb decision for me as a 21-year-old, we all take chances at 21.
Right.
And Jerry Reinsdorf and John Paxson and company, they backed me. I mean, I got insurance for my multiple surgeries, right? So they were there for me the entire time. And it was probably the best way they could handle it because they gave me a chance to come back. And when I think about D. Rose, people, and not everybody out there is nice. You know, we sit here and we say great things about D. Rose. You hear John Calipari tweet positive things to D. Rose. But there's a lot of people out there saying, hey, you're selfish. You should come back earlier. Your injury is only, taking you out for, 4 to 6.5 weeks. Yeah. Why are you being so selfish? This is our chance to win. Right. And with all due respect to the Bulls, because they're a great franchise and I love them. With all due respect to all the Bulls fans, because I love them too. They're great. D. Rose doesn't owe anything to them. He owes everything to himself to make sure that when he comes back, he feels 100% comfortable with coming back. And he's going to have to go through some dark times. I mean, he has to live with this injury himself on a day-to-day basis. And the one thing that people don't talk about is when he steps outside of his house, that comfort zone, you're going to have people say things to him.
Right.
Like, hey, you should have come back, or you're always injury prone. It's time for us to move on. Let's blow it up. And that's a very arduous thing for him to deal with.
You know, I'm listening, and I got to tell you, because I know D. Rose, and obviously I know his family, and clearly I know, members of the Bulls. And by the way, just before we go any further, there's some rumors circulating out there that, he's going to have microfracture surgery similar to what Amari Stoudemire had to have. And I spoke to sources within the Bulls over the last 24 hours, and they have categorically denied there's any truth to that whatsoever. They said it's clean, it wasn't a tear, he's going to be fine. They don't have to have the microfracture surgery. But I just wanted to let you know that because the people are saying that right now.
Where did that come from?
Well,
Maybe it's to your point.
Those are the things.
Things are starting to circulate.
Things are starting to circulate. So, but I just wanted to make sure I pointed out that the Bulls are categorically denying that. With that being said, what I concern myself about with Derrick Rose, first of all, it was the left knee. Now it's the right knee. Secondly, it wasn't just that he didn't come back, which I totally understood because he didn't owe them anything. When he was healthy, he balled. But, Jay, you've always been strong-willed, whereas Derrick Rose has that he's insulated by family, particularly his brother as well, Reggie. And whereas you could withstand some of that, even at a younger age, there are questions as to how mentally strong he is because of his sensitivity towards the criticism as it pertains to the fan base as well as the Bulls. What do you say to that possibility? Because what you could handle internally, we're not sure Derrick Rose can.
Well, I think it's a great move by him and the Bulls actually to nip it in the bud and say, hey, listen, I'm not coming back the entire year. I think last year it was so frustrating as a Bulls fan, the speculation of, hey, is he going to come back? Is he not going to come back? Is he going to come back? But for him mentally, I think Derrick is a very strong kid mentally, actually. To go through that as a young man, he's still growing. We're still watching Derrick Rose mature as a man. I mean, he's only played 50 NBA games. 50. I mean, he came back during the lockout season, and that was a shortened season. Then last year he got hurt. He missed the entire season. So we're still watching these kids grow up. For him to sit out this entire year, it is going to be a challenge for him. But I think the best part about his game is that as you continue to work on that left leg and he'll gain more confidence on his leg, he came back a lot stronger and faster this year than I saw him 2 years ago. All right? And the fact that Russell Westbrook can come back off that right knee, I think he will be able to come back. Now, the question is, how does he come back? Will he come back faster than what he was this year? I don't know. Those are questions that are unknown. But I'll tell you one thing. There was a guy I tried to guard my rookie year. His name was Sam Cassell. He was not fast at all. And that dude used to drop buckets on me. So if you can work on other parts of your game, like shooting, the thing we talked about before, Derrick Rose could still be a high-caliber NBA player. You're not feeling it, huh, Skip?
No, I'm feeling it. I was happy you prefaced your remarks with damn motorcycles. I had one from age 14 to 16, and thank you, God, for letting me get through that period because they are extremely dangerous. You don't have fender benders on motorcycles, as you found out. So you severed a nerve in your left leg. You fractured your pelvis. You tore up or ruptured 3 ligaments in your left knee.
Total knee dislocation.
Okay? Total dislocation. Let's talk psychological demons, trying to come back from all of the above and be a professional basketball player, an NBA player. What did you have to fight through? Because Derrick now, even though his injuries aren't quite as severe as yours on either knee, he's still got, as Stephen A. points out, now it's both that he's going to have to deal psychologically with. What were your demons in your head?
Well, also, Derrick is in a completely different situation. I mean, all his money is guaranteed. His injury was a byproduct of being on the court, okay? Mine wasn't.
But and it's $90 million.
Yeah, he's okay. He's okay. But it was, I think the biggest challenge while I was trying to come back was I felt all these eyeballs on me, 24/7, right? Not just with my approach on the court, with the way I played. Was I pushing off my left leg the same? Was I jumping off my left leg the same? How did I move laterally? But also, when the practice was over, what did I do? Did I sit on the sideline? Did I grimace? Did I go right to the training room? So all of a sudden, all these things psychologically started to play in my mind, and I started to actually question. People will look at me, I'm like, I'm okay, I'm okay. Like I felt like I had to initiate the conversation by saying I'm okay. So mentally, it broke me down. Now, I think Derrick Rose having that guaranteed money, it will allow him time. You know, Grant Hill jokes with me all the time. He's like, boy, you know, just take your time. Like, Grant, you could say take your time because you're still getting paid $18 million a year, okay? But so Derrick has that luxury, which I don't think he'll rush to come back. But mentally, that weighs on you. You know, and people in the NBA are smart. Don't think that, you know, when your left leg is hurt, defensively, laterally, you have a hard time pushing off that left leg. People are going to start driving you in that direction. You know, driving you to the right, and they're going to put you in that situation to see, okay, how strong is that left leg? Don't think that a defensive player trying to set a screen on you isn't maybe going to give you a little knee to the thigh.
So you were never quite the same.
I was never quite the same.